Welcome to
Stays Crunchy and Milk.
If you have questions or comments, we have multiple ways to be reached. Twitter is, of course, the best way for those who need instant gratification. The show's Twitter feed is @SkimPod, SKIMPOD.
Stays Crunchy.
If you want to hear yourself on the show, why not leave us a voicemail? 216-302-8763. That's 216-302-8POD.
Stays
For the
Crunchy.
more patient amongst you, the email address for the show is podcast@stayscrunchyandmilk.com. Crunchy again being spelled with a K. We're available via Apple Podcasts, Stitcher Radio, TuneIn Radio, Google Play, Spotify, and of course at the website stayscrunchyandmilk.com. Please rate, review, subscribe, and share the show wherever you can.
Stays Crunchy.
If the pockets is feeling extra chunky, you can put in on this and support our Patreon. It's available at patreon.com/stayscrunchyandmilk. And if you donate at the $5 or higher level, you get an entire extra show each month with even more content coming soon.
Stays Crunchy.
Our personal Twitters are Tatum216, Lunchbox2099, The Real ODP, and I'm your host, the internet's Tayrail713. Yo, birds of a feather flock together, congested on a majestic, no. My feathers inflame our one skin. Hallowed be thy name, in the beginning there was no sin. We in the ninth inning, and I'm God body trying to win, flying against the wind. But now my shell is weightless and fireproof. But the truth is, I'm proof of living fire. I'm not made of organics, not even wires. Just felt my body light up and heard the choir. See to the common fowl, the phoenix is sire, the most high of all things to ever have wings. Existence is struggle, resistance is futile. Meanwhile, we now possess the power of 10 suns to transcend and elevate into one. Famine, the disease, and senseless dying is done. Pigeon bird got a breath left, heartbeat no more. Pigeon bird morph and we live off the G-force. Scream Phoenix. You gotta scream Phoenix. Hello and welcome to it. It's Stays Crunchy Milk, episode 381. And I love you, but only because you didn't stab me at that Rolling Stones concert. I'm joined by my best friend, Tatum216, Lunchbox2099, and my homeboy Gabe, the real ODP. And we back up in this bitch again. About to talk all kinds of shit. I have a full serving of things to discuss, but I promise you a good chunk of this shit is us talking about stocks. It's gotta be the story, right? We gotta get in on that.
I'm not even sure I understand it fully.
We're gonna work it out. I'm gonna try my best. I know Dan is on that shit. He gonna tell you to try your best. So let me put this up front. Disclaimer: no financial information we give you on this show is legit and legal. It is us, a bunch of noobs and kind of guys who know some things, telling you some things that we think we know. Don't use it. Don't buy stock off of what the fuck we say. Please don't do that to yourself.
The only stock you should buy is probably chicken, low sodium. I recommend
I use vegetable stock personally, but so that's what's going.
I use vegetable stock, but usually throw some meat up in there because you got a vegetarian at home.
True indeed, and so like I said, it is what I use. If I'm making dressing, you know what I'm saying. I use vegetarian stock
for that umami.
So, yeah, because that's probably the base of it is mostly just mushrooms, so it's all just umami. So I'm going to attempt to explain to you a lot of concepts, all regarding the purchasing of GameStop stock. Don't let GameStop be a thing that gets in your craw about this. It could be any company that motherfuckers is futz with, but GameStop happens to be the one on the plate right now. And Box has been buying stock since mid last year?
Yeah, around August.
Yeah. And so we actually, as a group, have been talking about stocks and what to do and how to buy them and who we're looking at and so forth. And so this has actually been something. It's a bit in our wheelhouse as friends. You know what I'm saying? We kind of chat about it. But there are people who get down with this shit on larger levels and institutional levels and so forth. And so there's a group on Reddit called Wall Street Bets who happened to notice that a hedge fund had shorted against GameStop stock. So let's talk about shorting. Shorting essentially means is you go holler at your broker and be like, hey man, let me hold about 10 shares of GameStop. You immediately then sell that stock. And so you sell it at the price that it's currently at. So GameStop once upon a time was about $4, but we'll say we're using $10 to make shit even. And then what you do is hopefully that stock kind of fall off. And then you buy the stock you need and you just kind of and kind of get back the dough you had borrowed against. Does that make sense? Everybody kind of riding on that? Okay.
Sure.
It's like borrowing a $20,000 car, selling it for 19, and then buying the exact same car back for 16, and handing it back to the person you borrowed it for, and then keeping the $3,000 profit.
There you go.
Okay.
So, one of these particular hedge funds said we is going to bet mightily that GameStop stock is going to fall off. We're going to be able to buy it cheaper, pay back what we borrowed, and keep the difference. Somebody noticed this? Bunch of people on this particular subreddit that is about 2 million deep was like, hey man, if we buy that stock, they will go through what's called a short squeeze, meaning they are on the hook for, what they owe that company. You know what I'm saying? You borrowed that $20,000 car, and now that $20,000 car is worth $50,000. You owe me that difference, you owe me the stock. So either way, you gotta give me back my stock, my shares of stock, and you gotta pay for them whatever they cost. So one hedge fund has already claimed that they're going to be going bankrupt off of this shit because they did some not shifty. It's perfectly legal. It's a regular thing. People do shorts regularly. Your bank probably does shorts. Everybody does it. It's a very regular part of investing.
Yeah, the issue in this case was like there's only a certain amount of shares in the pool for each company.
Yeah.
But in this case, they shorted 140% of the available shares. They went above and beyond what was actually available in the market. So when people realized it, they pounced on them and they fucked them because there wasn't enough volume available for them to get back what they owed. So that's why they were left scrambling, and you saw what happened today.
And the real of it is that should be a problem. You shouldn't be able to invest more than the company exists. You know what I'm saying? 100% is 100%. We stop there. The fact you can go over 140 whatever percent, that's bullshit. You shouldn't be able to do that. That's going to come up in congressional shit sooner than later. Trust that.
Yeah, you guys remember back when quarantine started and there was this guy there was an interview that I shared with you guys by a guy who used to be like a CEO of Facebook or something. When like there was the bailout and he was talking about how companies should go bankrupt and this, that, and the other.
Yes.
So that same guy was on that same show yesterday. It was like a 33-minute interview. I found a bootleg copy of it on YouTube last night because like CNBC, they have their own premium service and shit. So anytime someone uploads shit to YouTube, they copyright strike that shit like instantly. So, but I managed to find that's the thing about Twitter, man. Like 3 clicks and I had a brand new link and was watching that shit like without even trying really. But
yeah, you dropped it at the Doobie Brother concert, so I don't know what happened there.
So I watched the whole interview, and it was interesting because what you're saying right now about government needing to look into it and that and this, that, and the other. He was essentially saying like the host was like trying to take this position where he was trying to look out for people getting hurt, which is ridiculous because the people who did this clearly knew what the fuck they were doing. Like the people who organized it anyway. I'm sure they just convinced people some people to hop on because it was the herd mentality. But the people who organized it clearly understood what the fuck they were doing. So it's like they know the risks of what's going on because they understand the numbers and how we even got to this point. Mm-hmm. But then, Shamath was basically arguing that, you can't be mad at the people who fucking squeeze them. You need to be mad at the hedge funds who operate in the shadows and do this shit because they don't have to, everything in the finance world has to be broadcast. Like, when companies do anything, they have to give the financials out. They have to, give their plan. Anytime, there's, a big CEO that sells stock, they have to report it to the public. All this shit is reported. Everything's wide open except shorts. Like, when they do these negative short sales and stuff, all that shit isn't reported. So that this shit kind of gets done in the back alley, so to speak. And like the fact that these people got caught with their pants down, that's why they were left scrambling today to try and like the whole shit. Like I have to imagine there's gonna be so many lawsuits. Like I know if like they already announced that Robinhood has 2 pending lawsuits now from them shutting down trading today for a while. And like I saw like tweets of people like Robinhood was selling off their GameStop shares and stuff without their permission and everything.
I have a whole body of stories we're gonna get through. Yep.
Yeah,
So,
but like before we get into it though, like if you want, Shamanth wrote out like a 14 tweet like dumbed down version of explaining. So if you want, I'll read through the whole thing.
yeah, do that.
So he put this up 6 hours ago. It says a children's book explanation of what's happening.
Okay, that's what I need.
Yeah,
Explain it as you would a child.
yeah. I like when people are like, explain this to me as if I was 6. So he says, if you are quote unquote smart money, you are allowed to take your $1 and leverage up to $15. You can now buy $15 of stock, and if you promise to short companies, you can short $15 of stock as well. In finance language, this means that you are gross $30, $15 a long, $15 a short, but net $0. Because you know, in each case you owe that money. So $15 plus $15 of longs minus $15 of shorts. This makes everything feel good because it feels like you are taking zero risk, but in reality, your $1 is exposed to $30 of risk. Now you go around and you tell your friends about both your longs and your shorts, and when you do it at a restaurant versus on Reddit, it's called an ideas dinner. This is when people in Wall Street get together and try and dictate how the markets are going to go. They pick and choose what companies they're going to attack and who they're going to pump money into, and that's how they manipulate the market, is at quote-unquote idea dinners. So you can also publish your logs on a quarterly lag. I don't know. I think he meant log. You can also publish your longs on a quarterly log via an SEC rule. You don't have to tell anyone about your shorts. Now, the less cool people who weren't invited to the ideas dinner start copying your longs based on your report. You realize that publicizing your shorts is also a good idea, so instead of only selling stocks, you also buy options, which are called puts, which has to be reported. Now everyone can see both your longs and your shorts. And if you have a hot hand, you can lightly predict that the cool people from the dinner as well as the less cool people monitoring your filings will copy you. But then an outsider notices that the math is way off. Apparently some of these shorts that you own represent more than 100% of the entire stock of the company. So he grabs his chicken fingers and champagne and starts a massive short squeeze. Others see what's happening and they jump in. Now a massive short squeeze starts. You have to cover your shorts as soon as possible. But the banks also notice that you don't have enough credit to cover the $30 they lent you and ask for more collateral. You now also have to sell your long positions. So there's like a graph where it shows like sell-off dumps for them trying to recoup the money to pay the credit back. So he says what happens next is that a cascade of short coverings and long selling starts, driving some stocks to the moon and others way down. Which stocks went up? Basically the ones that were the most heavily shorted by you and your buddies in the first place. So the outsider won? It's not clear. You and your buddies are strong, rich, and have a lot of influence, so you need to do whatever you can to keep the rules in your favor. Maybe the SEC will ask for an open inquiry. Maybe Congress will hold hearings. Let's see, now go to bed. So, in the end, like, they fucked themselves by going too far into the math. They didn't think anyone would notice. They flew too close to the sun. People noticed, and then the mob ganged up, pounced, and they were caught, trying to scramble. But at that point, the math was too far gone. Mm-hmm. And so that's what makes the whole Robinhood thing that he's about to talk about infuriating, because like people had them, and these like is it like I use TD Ameritrade. They like even were like fucking lagging today and putting stops on trades. And I know Webull was doing it. Yeah. Ally was doing it. Robinhood definitely did it. I'm sure they were probably all doing it, but like they manipulated the market and basically helped these fucking hedge funds like recover in a way. And it's going to be lawsuits.
All right. I got like 3 stories. I know it's a lot. I will try to pop through them as quick as I can and without going through all of them. But we're going to try to run this down right quick. First one's from Complex. Ant sent this to us earlier. GameStop surge on stock market explained. This is by Joshua Espinoza over at Complex. GameStop, a company that was expected to close hundreds of stores in 2021, has made a stunning comeback in the stock market. And it's all thanks to an army of Reddit users who are gutsy enough to take on Big Wall Street. That's already a bit too opinionated for my position, because you don't call these guys gutsy. They were just, motherfuckers just like, let's get this dough. But according to CNBC, GameStop's share price went from under $20 at the beginning of the month to more than $347 by the end of Wednesday. The surge is, of course, great news for failing video game retailers, but has caused a massive headaches for hedge funds and big-time investment firms that were betting against it. But what caused these shares to skyrocket in such a short period of time? Who benefited from the surge? Who took a massive hit? And how will the frenzy potentially impact the trading world? We've attempted to explain all that and more in the following breakdown. Who are short sellers and why are they drawn to GameStop? GameStop's financial struggles have been well documented over the past year as the global pandemic and the shift to online purchasing have wreaked havoc on sales. Because of this, the video game retailer has become very appealing to corporate short sellers, investors who anticipate a stock's decline. Unlike long investors, short sellers do not actually buy a stock. They instead borrow shares and sell them to another investor at a higher price than what it'll cost to purchase the stock from the original owner, typically a brokerage company. It's a risky move primarily based on speculation. If the shares do decline, the short seller has the opportunity to buy the stocks back at a lower cost than the original sale price. They will then pocket the difference, thus profiting off of a company's failure. But if the shares happen to increase, the short sellers will have to pay for the borrowed shares at a higher price than what they sold for. And those losses could be limitless, as stock prices can theoretically increase forever. There are times when a short seller can minimize her losses when the stock prices begin to rise. They just have to act fast. Once you see the stock prices aren't dropping as anticipated, the short sellers can cut their losses by quickly purchasing the shares back and repaying the original owner before the prices increase even more. However, in some cases, like that of GameStop's, the increase happened so fast, short sellers were unable to prevent heavy losses. How did Reddit users cause this surge? How did Reddit users band together to inflate the GameStop stock price? Let's rewind to April 2020. Jesus, really? Okay, I didn't even know this. According to Bloomberg, Reddit user Senior Hedgehog pointed out that 84% of GameStop stock was held in short at the time of his post, which was shared on the r/Wall Street Bets. The user then called on his fellow investors to buy as many GameStop shares as possible and demand their brokers not to loan their new shares to short sellers. The post is widely credited for igniting what many have called David versus Goliath battle between individual investors, known as retail investors, and hedge funds. Although the efforts to screw over Big Wall Street began nearly a year ago, it wasn't until this month when support for GameStop ballooned on Reddit. More and more users began utilizing trade platforms like Robinhood to purchase GameStop shares and collectively inflate the game's stock prices. Wall Street Bets also received a major boost this week when Tesla CEO Elon Musk promoted the forum on his Twitter. He just wrote "Game Stonk," and that was enough it was over at that point. Elon can speak and the market moves, and that shit is real as fuck. Was never more real than this week. The massive rally resulted in major losses for major investment firms like Melvin Capital, which is known for its short position on GameStop. Was GameStop the only company affected? Reddit users behind the GameStop mania have recently turned their attention toward movie theater chain AMC and smartphone maker BlackBerry, two struggling companies which also have become popular among short sellers. According to Business Insider, Reddit users have spent the last several days spamming the r/Wall Street Bets Discord server, which calls to purchase AMC stock. The effort apparently paid off as shares of AMC Entertainment Holdings increased by 310% on Wednesday. Individual investors pulled a similar move with BlackBerry and Bed Bath & Beyond, which saw its shares up 24 and 64% respectively. National Beverage Co., the maker of LaCroix sparkling water, has also received support from Wall Street Bets community, and as has the once mighty video rental chain Blockbuster. I didn't know Blockbuster was still trading. What could even be? What's even left?
I know that there was one Blockbuster out in Alaska.
In Alaska, yeah.
They just released like a documentary about it too. Like I almost watched it like 2 weeks ago.
How funny.
What platform is it on?
I think it was on Amazon.
Okay.
The increase in stock prices further highlight how easily the stock market can be manipulated. In the case of GameStop, the company value had nothing to do with operational changes. It was simply a result of internet culture. It doesn't make sense, Loop Ventures co-founder Doug Clinton told Bloomberg. It makes sense from an investor psychology standpoint. I think there's a tendency where there is heavy resale interest for those type of traders to think about stock differently than institutional investors in terms of what they're willing to pay for. All right, we'll leave that one be. Like I said, there's a bunch left there. So I'm actually going to read this one. Let me flip this one around. So this is from Vice Motherboard. Edward Ongwesko Jr. wrote this. This is about Robinhood. Robinhood's customers are hedge funds like Citadel. Its users are the product. The Wall Street Bets subreddit are furious after Robinhood stopped allowing trades on GameStop. Here's how the commission-free investing app makes money. I'm not going to delve too deep into this one, but what happened today is Robinhood, where 56% of people who were retail purchasers who were buying that GameStop stock bought their GameStop stock. That's the app they use to go and buy GameStop stock. Today just was like, fuck that. We ain't selling no more GameStop stock. And like Box said, for some people who bought like chunky, you know what I'm saying, big old shares, they sold them shits without their permission. Now, without their permission has foibles to it because in Robinhood's terms of service, it's kind of in there that they can do this. So it's kind of bullshit, but it's in there. And so it's just, it took a turn. But GameStop and other stocks targeted by day traders and r/Wall Street Bets subreddit began to climb, popular fee-free trading platform Robinhood is outright preventing users from buying and only allowing sales to close out positions. I mean, you got to sell all of them. You know what I'm saying? You're shutting it all down. The company has been widely criticized for the trading restriction and is now the subject of a class action lawsuit. Given that Robinhood is playing a central role in retail investors pumping dark horse stocks, it's worth examining once how it makes money, namely by selling users' trades to other large firms before they're actually executed. Those firms make money by effectively seeing what the retail investors on Robinhood are going to do before they actually do it and acting accordingly. Those firms are basically buying information that then informs their own trades. So for the past few years, Robinhood spent a great deal of energy marketing itself as born out of Occupy Wall Street movement and champions on a mission to democratize finance for all. The reality, however, is that this rhetoric distracts from the fact that it's actually helping preserve the status quo, namely by turning its customers, but more so their orders, into products. The secret to Robinhood's success and profitability is simple: payment for order flow. To ensure trades are commission-free, trades are sold to market makers or large firms such as Citadel Securities, Robinhood's largest customer, which tried to bail out Melvin Capital after its GameStop shorts cost it billions. Market makers execute those trades, sometimes at an inferior rate, and can use the privileged position to place themselves in the middle and make a profit. Crucially, in this arrangement, more trades and more volatility meant there was more firms like Citadel to work with. Here's the Financial Times explaining how it works. Citadel Securities pays tens of millions of dollars for their order flow, but makes money by automatically taking the other side of the order, then returning to the market to flip the trade. It pockets the difference between the price to buy and sell, known as the spread. Easy access to market against the backdrop of wild swings in prices have led to higher trading volumes in stocks and options this year, increasing the raw material Citadel Securities uses to turn a profit. At the same time, the rise in volatility has forced spreads wider increasing the potential income for market makers. So basically, I would never, ever, ever buy stock in Robinhood at this point because they are not you directly going to buy stock. Now, not that you can actually just kind of directly buy stock, but there usually is something. There's usually you're a little closer to it than this. Robinhood is actually just a middleman at this point, and that's another reason they can some people not only had their GameStop stock sold, they had it sold at a lower price. They had it sold at a price it was at a different time of day. So somebody had their stock that should have been valued at about $750,000 sold off for I don't know, I think $100 a share or something like that. So they got basically I think they got $45K out of it. And I'm like, that's bullshit. You can't take my money like that. And truly, I actually don't think they can take their money like that, which is why all of a sudden Congress was like, what is happening? Oh, hell no. We own this shit and we own the shit fast. So AOC, of course, in the House, Ted Cruz, who's a horrible human being, so don't trust anything that piece of shit says. But of course, he was interested in this on the Senate side, and the White House initially made a statement that said they were watching it, but now they seem to have backed off to be like, we'll just let the legislative body handle this because that is who should be handling it.
That just shows you how the one true thing that unites everybody is money.
Oh yeah,
because AOC, Trump Jr., and Ted Cruz were all in agreement on something, which hell had to have frozen over, or it was about money.
She responded to Ted Cruz and bruh, don't ever talk to me. You tried to have me killed 3 weeks ago. Fuck off. It was very good. I was very happy with it. She actually was on Twitch earlier tonight discussing this whole thing because that's she rolls like that. She's a gamer, but she actually went to go discuss it. So we were just talking about Robinhood and Robinhood fucking over its users, and that's going to be problematic. Another problem with Robinhood is, and Senator Warren was on CNBC at some point today as well discussing it, is also in the terms of service, it says you have to agree to arbitration. Meaning they can't technically be sued by their users, but that won't stop this whole civil because motherfuckers can. What's fun about contracts and shit and terms of service shit like that there is, yeah, you can kind of say I've made my terms of service, but the reality of it is there's no way you can prove that you actually have shown the people who have signed this terms of service know what the fuck they're doing. And if you put somebody in a contract that they can't possibly understand, oftentimes, there's some wiggle in that you can be like, bro, that person could never have understood that shit. You can't fucking hold that contract to them. Which is how sometimes celebrities and shit will get out of weirdly long-term contracts they've signed because it's you signed them to a contract when they were 14 years old with terms that they could have never recognized or known about. So not saying it's going to be this time, but there's oftentimes a little wiggle in that whole you go on a parking lot and they say we're not responsible for shit that got stolen out of your car because it says on the back of their ticket. There's no way you're going to read that ticket. You just paid for your parking and went to your car. You know what I'm saying? So
even if they do wiggle their way out of litigation and shit, their reputation right now is fucking tarnished.
Trash. They are definitely. Robinhood won't be around. They will suffer for this.
Robinhood wasn't the only one to shut down trading on this shit today.
Yeah, we did.
But they're the ones who are taking the reputation at the hardest. But they're also the only ones that I saw doing the forced sales.
But and also, like I said, they happen to be 56% of the people who did this bought via Robinhood because it's on every podcast. It's on people's YouTube shows. Philly D said he's never going to advertise on Robinhood again. He'll never let them do a piece on his show again. So I'm like, that's real, bro. I'm happy that people are like, nah, fuck them and fuck this bullshit. Ja Rule was posting about that shit. Y'all see that?
Yeah,
that was funny to me.
Yeah, shit. I saw Larry Nance Jr. tweet out something at Robinhood an hour ago.
Yeah, so
and he's one of the nicest dudes ever.
Well, from a local perspective, because we always try to bring Cleveland born. This is from the good people over at Scene, which is our local alt weekly. Cleveland law firm exploring possible class action suit for Robinhood users after app restricts trading on GameStop and other stocks. This is from Vince Gersgorek. Man, if I got you right, Vince, I hope I did. Chapman Albin, a securities and investment law firm based in downtown Cleveland, announced today that it is gathering information and investigating claims from Robinhood users who are restricted by the app from buying certain stocks, including Robinhood and AMC. both of which have become international stories after Reddit users organized a short squeeze on hedge funds, driving GameStop's price from $4 to more than $400 at its high in a matter of weeks. Now, what I dig about that. So what's another fucked up thing is, so I believe GameStop is traded on the NASDAQ. NASDAQ can be like, okay, we are suspending transactions on this for the day while we investigate some things. They didn't do that this time. You know what I'm saying? They did do it the other day. They stopped trading for a little bit on that particular stock because they can do that. It's their market, and that's the market that these people are on. But then Robinhood just but what it is you can't be stopped from shopping. You know what I'm saying? They can't kick you out the store. And that's what Robinhood basically was doing. It's like, nah, we ain't letting you cop no more. And it's like, bro, you can't do that. It's a free market economy. That's some horse shit. You can't be out here doing that, man.
I had a mask on.
Robinhood, a commission-free app favored by retail investors who drove the stock's ascent, restricted trading on GameStop and other stocks mentioned frequently by Wall Street Bets subreddit. The move not only has drawn the quick ire of congressional leaders like AOC, who want an investigation into Robinhood's decision, but law firms interested in representing users in class action. One has already been filed in New York, and Chapman Albin is exploring its own. Just a month ago, the Massachusetts security regulators filed a lawsuit against Robinhood for aggressive, dishonest marketing practices geared toward inexperienced investors. Philip Vuzhinov, an attorney from Chapman Albin, said in a statement, now Robinhood appears to be up to its same old tricks, recruiting social media influencers to encourage individuals to sign up and fund a Robinhood account and beginning purchasing shares of securities such as GameStop, AMC with no consideration as to the sustainability of the purchase. To make matters worse, Robinhood proceeded to place a trading restriction on the securities just a day later. Chapman Album, which didn't immediately respond for requests for comment from Seam, invites Robinhood users to contact Vuzhinov at contact@chapmanlegal.com. So again, you know we roll Cleveland, man. Cleveland, we sit over here right in the middle between New York one way, Chicago the other way, and we be doing that shit sometimes, man. So I dig that we got a little local firm that does just this. But we also have like what's that, Ernst and Young, you know what I'm saying, which is a big type financial corporation and shit here that's local. Keys headquarters is here, so we are a part of the banking world. We used to be steel, but now we kind of switched it to food t-shirts and banking. It seems to be what we do in Northeast Ohio.
Damn right, Daffy Dan.
So it's just that shit was so bugged out in such a huge story that I'm like, we couldn't just not talk about it a little bit. Like I said, Dan does a little bit of investing. I do some investment through the job. Was plotting on doing some more investing here soon, and now it just tells me that I certainly won't be doing it through Robinhood. Now will I? So that's just what it is at this point, man. I got to figure out how can I get closest to just me making my own goddamn trades without a lot of motherfucker between me and there. It's got to be a way to do it, and we gonna figure it out, people, and never tell you about it because I'm not allowed to be giving you financial advice. Just can't. Sorry. In more of a local news situation, this is more for people who fuck with us for our little local takes. This one, when I saw this, I was like, yeah, that makes sense. State makes rare move in revoking Barley House liquor license for COVID violations.
Whoa. Bar
will have to go to court if it wants it back. Another story by my man Vince Grisgoric over at Scene. The penalties handed out by the Ohio Liquor Commission to the Barley House for 3 of 4 recent violations were relatively minor. Agents in December 2019 found that the West 6th Street establishment in unsanitary conditions. For that, the commission issued a 3-day liquor license suspension to begin in late February. That could be avoided with a $300 fine instead. Then on September 27, 2020, agents cited Barley House with knowingly allowing or engaging in disorderly activities with regard to the state's coronavirus guidelines for restaurants and bars.
Orgies.
Following a Browns game, state agents found a packed bar with no distancing efforts. The commission issued a 5-day license suspension and a $1,000 fine. On October 3rd, 2020, agents found the Barley House was once again skirting or ignoring the state's rules. This time, serving drinks after 11 p.m. despite Ohio's last call cutoff. For the violation of statewide pandemic rules, the commission issued a 20-day license suspension that again could be avoided this time with a $6,000 fine. The last one was the biggie. In violation for November 14th, for November 14th stemmed from a video taken inside Barley House that night showing a large crowd of unmasked patrons dancing, drinking, mingling with no distance enforcement by staff. The video quickly went viral, both because of the scene it showed and because of what social media saw as evidence of the club's continued flagrant flouting of state safety guidelines. It led to the third state code COVID violation charge and separately drew a $9,000 fine from the city of Cleveland. And from the State Liquor Commission, it drew an order to revoke Barley's liquor license effective March 24th, 2021. So they still get to get that Barley House St. Patty's Day in, you know. Can't take that away from the business. That's a step the commission has taken in only a handful of cases since the onset of the pandemic and the attendant orders given by State Department of Health governing bars and restaurants. And it's not one they take lightly. In many cases, the revocation order has come with the alternative of paying a hefty fine. That's exactly what happened at Medusa, a club in downtown Cleveland, in its hearing before the commission last week. The commission issued a revocation beginning at noon, February 24, 2021, because of a violation of COVID health protocols, but gave the permit holder the option to pay a financial forfeiture in the amount of $7,500 in lieu of revocation. That was not an option given to Barley House. The commission ordered its license to be revoked as of March 24th. As to the appropriate penalty in any given case, the commission has broad authority, Sarah Creedon, the executive director of Ohio Liquor Control Commission, told Scene when asked for comment on the decision. In terms of possible penalties, the commissioner has the authority to issue a suspension and or revocation, and in most cases, may allow the permit holder the opportunity to pay a financial forfeiture in lieu of serving the suspension and or revocation. The commission considers all relevant factors, including the nature of the violation, the seriousness of the offense, the facts of the case, the permit holder's prior record, if any, as well as any relevant information including any mitigation evidence presented by the permit holder. Barley House owner Bobby George, let's tell you to go look up Bobby George. That's all I'm going to say to you. In a statement to Scene, said, "I will appeal and find a way to win, like I always do." This motherfucker is a piece. He's a real. Anyway, this is what great people and great organizations do. In saying that I am extremely disappointed the state is attacking its own, this is exactly why Ohio has a shrinking population. Yeah. Leaders need to step up and serve, not use their power to hurt, especially during a time like this. If the state won't look after my team, I will. I'm looking forward to use this platform to show people what true leadership looks like. Creedon told Scene this decision isn't up for negotiation with the department, and the next step for the owner would be with the court. A permit holder has 21 days to appeal a commission order to court. The appeal must be filed in Franklin County Court of Common Pleas, and any stay given to the permit holder during the pendency of an appeal would be granted by the court, not the commission. A few establishments have been down this path, though their cases have not been resolved. 11 have appealed the commission's ruling. 4 of them have been revocations. The Highland Tavern in Akron was the first Ohio bar to have its license revoked by the commission in September of last year for corona violations. Fuck the Barley House.
I love those sounds.
I did love them sandwiches. I love them. I love the staff. They always did right by us. But fuck Bobby George. And yeah, true leadership. Eat a dick.
Them urinals that laughed at our dicks were so great. And we met Cut It Out.
Dave Coulier. Dave Coulier. Yes, Dave Coulier.
I was like, "Hey, Dave," and he looked scared as fuck.
Hey man, cut it out. You know what I'm saying? How we get down?
Cut it out. I don't know you, Negro.
Cereal shortage. Are you having trouble finding a box of grape nuts? You are not alone, and here's why. This is from USA Today, Kelly Tycho. A COVID-19 related shortage has Grape Nuts faithful missing that familiar crunch of their favorite breakfast cereal. For months, consumers have been searching for boxes of the more than 120-year-old cereal brand, only to find empty shelves and out-of-stock notices. Some fans have turned to social media and Reddit to commiserate over the struggle to find the high-fiber cereal and question whether it has been discontinued. The brand, which is owned by Post Holdings, confirmed the shortages to USA Today on Wednesday and said there was absolutely no plans to discontinue Grape Nuts cereal. People may continue to see shortages and temporary out of stock on Grape Nuts as we continue to work through through supply constraints and higher cereal demand amid the pandemic. Kristen DeRock, Grape Nuts brand manager, said in a statement to USA Today. DeRock said the cereal is made using a proprietary technology and production process
technology on a 120-year-old cereal
that isn't easily replicated, which has been made it more difficult to shift production to meet demand during the time. The brand started experiencing shortages in late 2020, and its Grape Nuts Flake cereal was also affected. The flake should be returned to store shelves now, and the original series is expected to be fully back on store shelves this spring, DeRock said. In September, the company spoke of a shortage of flakes on a Facebook comment and said it was due to an adjustment in our production schedules to ensure the items in highest demand were available.
I mean, I honestly know kind of what's going on. Since kids aren't at school, it's a cut down on elbow and knee scabs, so they can't make grape nuts out of those.
Oddly enough, I just finished a box of Grape Nuts maybe earlier this week. I had Grape Nuts in my house. Had I known they could be, I put flip me some Grape Nuts on eBay or something.
Yeah, you could have put them on Robinhood.
Put them bitches in little baggies. What you hustling? I got them Grape Nuts.
And then you take the crumbs out the bag and rub it on your gums. Oh, last little bit of these Grape Nuts.
Yeah, see your gums is bleeding now because this shit's hard as fuck.
This shit ain't stepped on right here. This the real shit.
Holy shit! What is stepped on Grape Nuts? What did you even stepping on Grape Nuts with?
Your feet, literally. You step on. That's how you get them crumbs. But I noticed like during at the beginning of the pandemic, my kids love graham crackers.
Okay.
And I like cinnamon graham crackers. And literally, you would go in the store, no graham crackers at all, no cinnamon, especially no cinnamon. So it was not really a loophole, but I ordered some from Target.com one day.
Yeah.
Well, actually, I ordered 4 boxes. And they sent me an email like, nah, dude, you can only order 1 box at a time. It's a shortage on cinnamon graham crackers. And it was like a list of the things that there was a shortage of. It was like, of course, like the normal shit, like toilet paper, sanitizer, like cinnamon graham crackers was on that list. So, yeah, I mean, I don't know if it's just the technique they got to use to sprinkle that little bit of cinnamon on them. But yeah, for a minute it was just like, no, we can't ship you that. So I just got them from Walmart instead. I shipped them from Walmart.
Yeah, the uncut graham cracker. It's funny how many things I've just seen missing from store shelves as of late because either people are buying them all up, you know what I'm saying, or like in this case, apparently they were like, look, right now we need to be making our whatever our high hitters are, and and yes, Grape Nuts has a certain constituency, but they not doing what Sugar Smacks is doing, you know what I'm saying? So we need to make more of them for right now.
Or
so they probably
Pebbles.
shifting people. Yeah, probably shifting people onto that side of the floor to make more of the uncut. And now motherfuckers is noticing because it's getting to a point where like, oh, bro, we ain't made Grape Nuts in some time, bro. Can we get that up and running? The old Grape Nuts machine. And I swear I've seen how they make it. It's like a sheet. It's like just basically how they make flakes. You've seen how they make flakes before, right? Mm-hmm. Like it's basically just a sheet and they hit that bitch and it break up in the flake. Right there you go, you got your flakes. It's the same thing, but they probably got to use something else to break it, to cut it down even further into just them stones. I love Grape Nuts.
I wonder, have we ever talked about, why sanitizer stank now, or was stinking?
You had brought it up, but I mean, do tell. Go on if you have some.
They were just
some
saying
other
like,
information.
it was just a certain process they were using, and like they weren't able to use it to get it out as fast. So this was like, fuck it, we just gonna let it stink. It stink there.
Stanky hand sanitizer for all.
Yeah,
that's wild.
Now like a lot of that sanitizer's like clear and stout. Now I'm like, I don't want that shit. Like I had to use it before, now I don't got to. It's like, production is getting to be a little bit more regular. So, and not to mention like stuff come from overseas, So it was stink. You had stinky hands. I got like a 1 bottle sanitizer. I'm like, I'm never gonna use that shit. I might as well like use it to set wood on fire or some shit like that. Cause I'm not using
make fireballs in the backyard. Yeah. Vanessa's dad hit us with 3-gallon bottles of hand sanitizer, a bunch of wipes, some real Lysol, extra Lysol, which I hadn't seen since the beginning of the pandemic. Mm-hmm. I ain't seen real Lysol in these streets since like February of last year. It's been like forever. So yeah, he basically just been stacking and like you're like, here's your Christmas gift.
So. Yeah, it was funny for a second. Like we would joke around that me and my girlfriend would give each other sanitizer like during the holidays. I mean, it was funny, but I mean, we don't got to do that shit no more.
Oh yeah, so I got a supply of sanitary of hand sanitizer, which I don't use because I hate the way it smells. Before it smells stanky, I hate the way it smells. So I'm a hand washing dude. That's our role.
Yeah, it was one brand I used to use, Germex, and I only liked it because it smelled like watermelon.
That's exactly what I have 3 giant gallons of right now.
It don't smell like that no more.
Oh well, right now I'm sitting on chrome right now.
I mean, that's just the old formula. It absolutely does. They had to change the formula. It does not smell like that. Like that, they have a lemon scent that doesn't smell like lemon. So,
like, ugh.
It's just
God. That's like I said. I always hate the way hand sanitizer smells. I know they always try to like zhuzh it up at Bath and Body or whatever the shit. You know what I'm saying? These
smells really
smell like cinnamon. Like, no, it don't. It smells like hand sanitizer. Met up with cinnamon one time. It's gross.
Yeah.
Quit trying to sell me that gross shit. It's disgusting. But that's pretty much our complement of stories. What's been popping with y'all? We roll as always with my man Ant. Man, what's going on with you, bruv?
Well, I know next week I might have a surprise for y'all. We'll see how that goes. I got to do a little bit of research on it, and then we'll go from there. But what has been going on with me? Not a whole lot. Something happened to me the other day, and I want to know if I should have been offended or not. So, I don't frequent. Okay, so I was out, and like I don't get much time to do shit I want to do, and my goal was to get a turkey burger from Whole Foods. I haven't had one probably for like none of 2020 at all. Like if I had it, probably was no. I know I definitely hadn't had it at all. And I went there just to get a turkey burger because I've been wanting one. I usually get one every year on my birthday, and I haven't. So I went to my local Whole Foods. I go to the burger bar because as a matter of fact, I think last time I went there, they weren't even open. Okay. So I went there and I go to the lady. She's like, "You want a burger?" And I said, "Yes." She was like, "Okay, what kind of meat you want?" I said, "Can I have turkey?" She's like, "We ain't got it." I just like turned around and left. So, like the next nearest thing that I'll get because I wanted a burger was I went to Burger King. So I can get an Impossible Whopper. Mm-hmm. So I get in line and I order my food and I pull up and the lady was like, "What'd you order?" I'm like, "An Impossible Whopper?" She was like, "Oh, you don't look like you sound." And I'm like, "Okay." I was just like, "What?" And then I just paid for it and pulled up. I'm like, so I guess she doesn't get too many black people asking for Impossible Whoppers, or she was just trying to. She was a white lady. She was like, I guess she was trying to infer that I sounded like a white guy who wanted a turkey burger. No, I'm sorry, not a turkey burger, Impossible Whopper.
I mean, this is gonna sound fucked up, but isn't that kind of like the same shit I said when I first met you?
No, you've never said that.
Yeah, I did.
No, you didn't.
Yeah, when I first met you guys at work, I said that like you talked differently than like most people I'd met.
You believe you me, Lunch. You have never said that to me.
Well, I know I said it to T.
You might have said it to T. You never said it to me.
I'm old. I ain't gonna remember that shit. Sure, it might have happened.
Yeah, I mean, this shit was like 9 years ago.
I remember almost everything you've ever said to me. That's why I sent you the blow the whistle thing the other day. I remember almost all our conversations. Almost.
I know, but like we rehash that one all the time. No. That's not like that's not.
You could bring up any. I wish
I'm not discounting your statement. I'm just saying blow the whistle is a low hanging fruit. We do that one all the time.
I can remember the exact conversation that let. Well, you can probably cut this out. I'll say it. That I found out you were a virgin. I remember that. Like that day, like a clear as a bell. Do you remember that?
No.
Okay, I can tell you the exact conversation. We were at the bakery that used we were at Zoop downtown, and it was me, you, John, Adam, and T, of course, and Drew, the serial killer. He was there. And we were talking about how
I forgot there was a Zoop down there.
See, there we go, right away. So we were talking about Kim Kardashian breaking up before she got with before she was about to get with Kanye, and so I remember this particularly because we were talking about marriage, and I was like, so. If you guys were focused on sex, and I'm like, she's only been married twice. Technically, she's probably only slept with 2 people. And you were like, no. And I'm like, and I was talking to you because you were the one going super to bat with this. And I'm like, you can't tell me that you've dated like more than one person that you didn't have sex with. And then everybody froze and didn't say shit. And I'm like, I noticed that, but I'm like, you started laughing. And like everybody was just like, you know, taking sips of their drink and looking around the room. And I'm like, he was like, oh, you don't know? I'm like, no. He's like, I'm a virgin. That I of course I haven't. And I was just like, we just started talking. I was like, oh, I didn't know that. And then you was like, and this was your words, like, these motherfuckers didn't gossip about it. I was like, no. And I mean,
I do kind of remember that now that you mention it. I remember talking about it on our show before.
No, but this was before we had a show.
Yeah, I now that you've like mentioned it, I do remember bits of this conversation. I'm just saying, like, it's not like I kept it a secret after that or anything like that. Like, what I mean is, I've talked about it openly on the show in the past.
Oh. But yeah, we at this point we didn't have a show. We I had never. I mean, we had been friends for a little bit. I guess we just had never talked about it. But
yeah, well, like that would have been in the first year because we've been doing this show since after like my first year there.
Yeah,
so that would have been right at the beginning.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
but
yeah, we all used to go to lunch together, and I feel like you brought in, right?
Yeah,
yeah,
and then eventually like. After that one time where he was on vacation, and then we all took the pictures at the cupcake place. Like, no, T was on vacation.
Yeah, because we went to the cupcake place he didn't like.
Yeah, he hates this place called Colossal Cupcake. So we walked into that place while he was on vacation, and I took a picture at this like giant fucking chair that they had. It was like this giant, gaudy, pink, like looking chair, and this dude that like I've known since high school. Got kind of like shitty with me because I took this picture to send to T because I knew he hated that place. And then it was like a couple days later, and I was living in the dude's house at the time. Him and his girlfriend like unfriended me on Facebook and shit. And it was at that point where I was like, I'm getting the fuck out of here. So, like, my other buddy who was living there, too, like, he had a friend who, like, needed to, like, move out from his girlfriend's and, like, needed a roommate. So, like, they were going to leave. So I hopped in and, like, we found, like, a place with, like, a couple bedrooms. And I got the fuck out of there. It was like, that was the day, that was the straw that broke the camel's back.
I want to find that picture because I remember T's tag you used to use is live from the 216. And you were trolling him. And you tagged it under there.
I'm pretty sure it's on my Instagram.
Oh,
like I don't think I've ever like archived anything.
Glad that place got fucked up in the riot.
You really hate that place.
Yeah, that was part of the reason we it's not on here no more.
You sure?
No, just the picture. I guess it might be somewhere else, but it's not under the live from the 216 tag.
Maybe I like did it on Facebook.
You got a lot of amazing pictures on her. Oh, there go a picture of me and you drinking goddamn, this was 8 years ago.
This pen that T gave me back in the day, I have no fucking clue where it's at, and I'm really upset about that. Like, I remember having it in that drawstring bag. I mean the messenger bag that I had. But, like, I have no fucking clue what happened to it. I lost it in a move sometime, and I'm really upset about that.
Somebody else used the hashtag I made up. I'm like, who is this strangest child on my hashtag?
Oh, it was this picture.
No, I gotta look. I have another picture. I got a picture that I took of you.
Oh, okay. Yeah, this was the picture I took. I took a picture in front of the cupcake counter. I made my first visit to Colossal Cupcakes. Hashtag CLE, hashtag Cleveland, hashtag cupcakes, hashtag diabetes, hashtag feed me more.
How funny.
And then I commented on my own picture, verdict equal not as good as Campbell's, and then sad emoji. That was April 11th, 2014.
I have so many, like, I've had, like, I don't know how many phones since then. Like, I gotta find that picture of you. Like, it's way better than that. I mean, not that your picture's not great, but it's like you got the cupcake in your hand and you like in front of the pink throne.
Yeah, and it was like when you took that picture was when he lost his shit. I remember, like, he got all huffy puffy and he said something like, "Why are you guys doing that?" Like, you know, in his like deep serial killer voice.
Oh, fuck me.
And it was like he was so angry that we were spending 30 seconds to take a troll picture, and like it was in that moment he decided that like at that point that would have been like 13 years of friendship just wasn't worth it anymore.
That is wild that's where that concluded at. Yeah,
because I moved out and then like I stopped talking to him really. Like he worked here with us for like this whole time. And it's like, I just don't talk to him. We don't talk on communicator. Like, if we walk past each other in the hallway, like, we'd say hello, and sometimes he'd try and stop and talk to me about games and shit, but, like, no, like, we stopped talking after that. Like, I moved out, I dipped, and I never went back.
Man, that's crazy. I don't know how much that's making the show. I don't even know really what the hell we was talking about. What the hell? How did we get here?
We got here, I guess, about my memory, and,
me saying that the way Anthony talked was surprising to me when I first met him.
Oh yeah, and then he had to prove that he don't recall you ever saying that. Okay, we're good. Also, should you be offended? I'm kind of offended, but that's what I think. I'll be thinking all white folks saying some shit like that is racist.
By Burger King or by when I did it?
Burger King.
Okay, because if you said it about the way I said it back then, I probably would have agreed with you.
She didn't say like you're still well spoken.
Yeah, I would have said it in a way that, like, I wasn't trying to be offensive, but I wasn't learned in the world enough yet at that point to say it. It's something I probably shouldn't have said to begin with, but I'm sure I probably would have said it in a way that made it sound worse than I intended anyway at that time.
You guys are so well spoken.
Because, like, in my mind, at that time, it wouldn't have been anything. It wouldn't have been a big deal of any kind because I didn't have any malice behind it or anything like that. I wasn't like aware enough of the impact it would have meant when I said it.
I mean, what's weird? What's interesting about that is what drew me to Dan to begin with. As we just, I guess we just walking, we get on this memory lane shit. Is that Dan kind of sounded hoodish? Because Dan grew up in the hood, as it turned out.
And that's what it was. It was most of the black dudes I've been around at that point talked more hood, whereas Anthony talked more like proper. And so like it wasn't like it was a different like black sounding guy than I was used to at that point.
It's interesting to how I mean it's not the turn of phrase proper per se. It's just how Anthony talked. And I was like,
I mean he didn't have hood twang.
I don't know why I don't have like I guess
it's not like he's not aware of it, but like it doesn't come out to like the degree of what I was used to.
Like
not just that. I met many of Ant's friends from the same came up where he came up at around his way, and none of them got a hood twang. He just run down the line.
A lot of the stuff that like I've seen like Brian and other people of his friends that like on social media, because like he shares like some of their stories and like I've like talking to them on like Instagram posts and stuff like that. Like none of that comes across in any way. Like maybe it's a generational thing.
Or I was like, maybe that neighborhood just ain't as hood as we be thinking it is, even though it is kind of hood.
I mean, it's worse now, but
yeah,
like,
for sure.
I definitely grew up in I mean, somebody was shot on my front porch before, so it's not like I didn't grow up on. I don't know. Maybe it was just. I don't know what it is. Like Childish Gambino said, I grew up in the South. I don't got a accent. Don't know why.
Don't know why.
Like I do remember like one of the first times that like T was shocked at some of the shit like that I would say, because we came back from lunch the one day and I said I had the itis and he was completely blown away that I even fucking knew what that was.
Some shit we keep to ourselves and motherfuckers don't be aware of. And to have that means you had deep secret knowledge. You had inside knowledge.
Listeners cannot see you point at your hand, T.
Yeah.
That was for them. That was for y'all.
He stands uncorrected. It wasn't for everybody.
You know what I'm saying? So,
because like much the way that Anthony talks about the day that I realized Uncle Phil was also Shredder, that's how it kind of was when you heard me say itis. I remember you were in your desk. I was standing over you at your desk. You were kind of leaning back in your chair, and I said it, and you kind of like turned and looked at me like, "What the fuck did he just say?" And then you asked me, you're like, "You know what that is?" And I'm like, "Yeah."
It's a shocking revelation, people. It's a shocking revelation at the time. And then that's my homeboy sense. I'm saying, it just really is. It's one of those situations where it's like, well, we ride now. That's just what it is. Ups, downs, sticks and thins is how we roll.
I mean, come on, man. You told me about your divorce on my first day on the job.
Bro, you was like my fucking, you were necessary. You were a necessary part of my existence. How funny, me and Vanessa was talking earlier tonight, and I was telling her how we were watching some video, and she was like, that's how dudes be talking when they be dating. I go, hell no. I go, one of the sagest pieces of advice I ever got in my brief stint of dating was how Anthony taught me how a single W and all mean that woman is not interested in me. And that shit has proven to be factual and accurate ever since. You get a bunch of alls, you get a bunch of W's in that all, they care. They got some care for you.
I think you should cut that off the podcast.
You don't need people knowing that.
They can know the itis. They don't need to know that. Like, that's one of the things that's like, it was funny when that happened. I was just like, I looked at it, and you were like, I see, like I wasn't gonna tell you, but you were talking. We kept on talking about it because at that point we weren't working in the same place. Like you were working around the corner, down the street, but in the same office, just in a different department. And we were talking. He was just like, no, because we had talked about it at lunch, and then you was like. You said, I was like, yeah, go ahead and, talk to her again. He was like, okay. And then, like, a couple hours later, we had seen each other in the cafeteria. You was like, yeah, she finally texted back. And you showed it to me. I was like, then I thought about it. I was like, thinking in my head, he gotta dead this bitch right now. And then I was like, nah, that's not a good sign. He was like, what do you mean? I'm like, look at that all. That's like, what was it? It was either 1 or 2 W's. I'm like,
it was like for sure.
I'm like,
and it's like,
if a person like you, they go hard on them W's. Like he had put himself out there enough. He was like, because if I'm not mistaken, if you don't mind me sharing, it was kind of like, I want to see you again. When do you want to? And blah blah blah. I had a good time.
Yeah.
It took her a long time to get back to it. And then when she did, she only put that. I'm like, nope. Leave her alone.
It's wisdom, man. And I was just saying, my man knew about what most people would have probably just glanced over. And it's like, that's why it just happened to come up that I too was already reminiscing this night. Maybe it's just Mercury in retrograde. You know what I'm saying? It's always something like that. You know what I'm saying? But
like, I've been seeing a lot lately of like people posting on social media about how like they don't text back. And it was like one of those like double circled graphs where it was like one circle was like people I don't like, and then the other one was like people I do like, and then in the middle where it was like I don't text back. And I'm just like, you people are the most infuriating fucking people in the goddamn world. Like, I'm like, how can anyone have any type of relationship, friendship with you whatsoever? Because like, if I'm trying to talk to you and you never answer, I'm not going to keep trying to talk to your ass.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
it's a Venn diagram by the way, the double circle graph.
Yeah, I kind of feel like when it comes to like relationships, it's always true. A person that like if they like you, they'll find time. I know. I don't know. I've tried like because I know like I'll get busy and like I'll see y'all text. I've been like ever since she was like, man, fuck that chat. Our chat rather. I try to respond like no matter what. Now I try to get in there. I try to put at least
I notice you don't be reading the Twitter chat that much because like in the last week there's been like 3 videos that I've sent to the Twitter chat that like 12 hours later you share in the Instagram chat.
And I'm like, well, we're all ahead here. It'd be the same thing too. They're like, he don't be on Twitter that much. It's okay. It's okay.
Yeah, Twitter is I try.
I know.
I'll get in there and I'm like, okay, heart, the thumbs up.
The Jordan Woods Buster challenge that was intentional. That was just being thorough to make sure we had it on all formats.
on all platforms.
And see, that's where being honest with people about what you enjoy comes back to it's rewarding, because I didn't even know about that until my buddy pinged me on the work computer and he was like, hey, did you see that Jordan Woods video? And I was like, what are you talking about? So then I immediately went to Google and I was like, I gotta share this with the world.
All must know.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
Well, like we also share some great PG stuff, because like me and Lunch always sharing restoration home videos like all day. Like, you see that house? Damn, that white bathroom really look good.
It's mostly food related stuff.
Yeah, I honestly feel like Anthony just doesn't sleep. Because, like, out of everyone here, I assume that I would be the person going to bed the latest, since I'm the single guy with no kids. So, like, I just figured, you guys got to be up with your children and all this shit. You're tired, whatever. But, like, I'll be in my room watching YouTube at 1 o'clock in the morning, and Anthony and I are chatting away on Instagram talking about this home restoration video we just watched. This shit happens all the time.
But I'll go to sleep, like, right after that. I'm like, I can go to sleep now.
I did the same thing, because we were doing it last night. We were talking about some shit in our side chat.
I felt bad last night. I'm like, this dude gonna be tired as fuck. I'm sorry.
No, like, because right after you and I stopped talking, I shut the phone off and went to sleep. It was like I went to sleep right after that.
Yeah, I was in bed when I said that.
Me too. I was laying in bed and I was watching a YouTube video. I just happened to be on Instagram at that moment, and like a couple things popped up that I wanted to share with you. And the next thing you know, here we were. Look at us.
Look at us. Who would have thought?
Who'd have thought, man? Who'd have thought?
Yeah. Speaking of that, did you guys watch the new Hot Ones with today?
Mrs. Jonas. No, I ain't checked it yet.
Yeah, I didn't know who that was. I mean, I'm gonna watch it, but I had no fucking clue who she was. That's the thing that, like, I went to her Twitter, and she had, like, 28 million followers, and I'm like, how the fuck is this person have 28 million followers, and I've never fucking heard of them? Don't know who they are.
She's a model first, right?
Yeah, now she an actress.
And an actress. And she married to Nick Jonas?
The best
One of
looking.
the Jonases.
No, you know what? He is not the best looking one. So, what's the one who's married to Jean Grey?
There's Nick, Joe, and I don't know the third one. There's like the really good looking model Jonas, the still attractive Jonas, and then like the I'm here because I can play instrument and my brothers are hot Jonas.
The one who's married to the lady that was on Game of Thrones, he's the cutest one.
Nick and Joe are the two.
I think that's Joe Jonas.
Yeah, I don't know the third Jonas brother.
Yeah, because he's not the cute one. That's why you don't know about it.
Like, I think Nick is the popular one.
Yeah. Also,
I think Nick is the one married to Jean Grey.
Yeah. But
yeah,
that's his wife, and
so that would mean this lady's married to Joe Jonas.
No, Joe Jonas is the one that's married to Sophie Turner, which is Jean Grey.
Okay, so he's married to Jean Grey.
Nick
Okay.
Jonas is the other one who had the black song.
Okay, so she's married to the hot one.
Yeah, Joe Jonas. Yeah, no, Nick is the cute one. Joe is the hot one. And
wait, what?
I'm allowed to say this because me and my girlfriend talked about it, and we totally agree.
Oh, I'm looking it up because like I want to make sure that I'm speaking about the right Jonases.
Okay, in my
You
opinion,
tell us then.
Nick.
Okay, based on my opinion, Nick Jonas is the hot one and Joe Jonas is the cute one.
Man, you wrong. Joe Jonas is got them smothering. Like he'll look at a lady and it'll be over. Nick Jonas is like, he's cute, but at the same time, it's just like, oh shucks, you can just, give.
For those that give a shit, the third Jonas brother's name is
We
Kevin.
don't care about Kevin.
Yeah, he's just there. He's like the third Hanson brother.
there's a fourth Jonas brother. They know people refer to him as the bonus Jonas. So,
Dave Jonas Jameson.
There's another one. Also, I am going to agree. I think Joe Jonas is your hot one.
Frankie Jonas. Oh my God!
In this particular picture, Kevin looks pretty. Is a handsome bloke.
I hate the mutton chops he got. So Frankie Jonas, get out. So Frank Jonas, get out of here.
Bonus Jonas?
Yeah.
Young Frank?
I wonder how much like residual porn he gets.
I mean, look at that.
Yes.
Frank Jonas is. I don't think he's turning down the ladies.
Danielle
Wait, no,
Jonas
I meant to
is
say-
married is married to Nick.
Yeah, even his wife not good looking. Oh.
It's funny. I typed in the word bonus, and then my phone's first suggestion is bonus Jonas.
Mm-hmm. See?
Because it's listed.
He's Frank Jonas like Frank Stallone.
Franklin Nathaniel Jonas.
Yeah, what was that movie where all the brothers is playing cards together?
See, this is why I thought the one Jonas brother was the awkward, creepy one. Like, where's my finger? The one on with the fro.
Yeah, that's Kevin.
And that's what I'm saying. That's why I thought he was just like the I'm here for the ride Jonas, because those mutton chops and that fro that just wasn't working. Now back then I could see Joe Jonas being the hot Jonas. Like he had that dirty what's the name of the group? My Chemical Romance type of feel, but for Disney. Whereas Nick Jonas had kind of he looked too much like Kevin back then.
They started a band and didn't include Frank. Even their mom didn't say, "You guys got to include Frank. Take Frank with you."
Yeah, Frank is
No,
Frank is so
because-
much younger though.
Back then, Frank would have been 5 years old.
Yeah, Frank.
That kid's
Yeah,
only
Frank's
20.
only 20.
Oh, okay.
Like, he's like, the parents thought they were done, and then the dad didn't strap up one night, and whoops.
What actually happened is like, hey, baby, we gonna fuck on this bed with all our kids' money.
The Jonas parents thought they were stopping at 3 Jonasi, and then, Daddy Jonas didn't pull out one night, and they had a bonus Jonas.
Either that or they said, like, well, the first 3 made us some good money, but they're going to get old eventually. Their time's going to run out. We need a fourth one. You can start
That could have been their plan,
Yeah, Frank Jonas was just too busy doing coke when he was 7. So
I mean, look at that. Like, that would have been hard to choreograph.
I mean, Michael Jackson and them did it, but I guess
I want to know why the bonus Jonas doesn't look as much like the other. Like, the other 3 look kind of similar. He looks like someone straight in the marriage.
That dad was cheating. They found him on a tour bus.
You think one of the kids got a lady, a random groupie pregnant, and they just lied to him and said, like, no, you're his brother.
That's definitely Joe's baby. Definitely.
It happened.
That's him and Demi Lovato's baby. I'm going with that.
God.
Wow,
All right,
that was
anyway,
that was quite the trip.
That was a journey. That was a journey. Yeah, she wildly tan. In a way, I'm like, what's going on, lady?
Yeah, they're like, she heavy on the makeup.
That's Ashley Tisdale?
No, that's Danielle Jonas.
Yeah, that's Kevin Jonas's wife.
That's Kevin's wife.
Oh, sorry. Sorry to be disrespectful.
They got married at 23.
What are you doing?
Was she 23 or he 23? No, he was 20. He was a virgin. He didn't give up any pussy.
She was 23. He would have been 22.
Yeah, they were famously saving themselves for marriage. Jay-Z
allegedly.
They're that whole promise ring thing.
Mm-hmm.
Just like Justin Timberlake, right?
Well, Justin Timberlake admitted, like, nah, man, me and Brittany was smashing, dude. You think I'm not smashing dog?
But he admitted that like 5-6 years after the fact. They kept up that whole like, oh, we're virgins act for the Disney Channel for like that entire run.
Did he smash?
It was when he started doing Big Boy SNL, where he was like, he had that like Irish monologue or whatever. He was like, totally hit it or something like that.
Didn't he smash her and Fergie?
Probably. I saw something where like he had a bet with Ryan Gosling about who would kiss. I think it was Jessica Simpson first or something like that.
Oh.
So, like, I guess, like, they, like, kissed during a recording session or something, and, like, he called up, like, as soon as they were done, he called, like, Ryan Gosling, like, right in front of her and was like, I won the bet or something like that.
I wonder, is him and Ryan Gosling still friends?
Did they have a falling out over something?
I mean, that shit was, like, a long-ass time ago, like, it was, like, 12 years old and they in their 30s now? Almost 40s? I think I'll still be friends with Ryan Gosling now.
He seemed like a cool dude, man.
It was Jessica Simpson.
Yeah, it was, and then she was wild. She was mad about that. That story came up in her book.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, because like dude, he immediately ran off to go like text dude about it, and she's like, "What the fuck?"
She was like, "That ain't free. That's 20 cents a text. Going backwards and forwards."
Funny enough, that video that you're just referencing was one of the videos I had sent to the Twitter chat. I even had tweeted it.
Which one?
Where like the dude where he's in the car and he's on the cell phone. Where it was like how it was like to talk on cell phones in 2002.
Yeah.
Yeah, because like I retweeted it and I was like, man, these songs are still fire. I like how he like put the phone up to the speaker and was recording like the voicemail.
I remember doing that for my pager. So yes, there was a time. What a time,
man! And like, so I never had I didn't have a cell phone yet at that point. Like, I got my first cell phone in like 2008, maybe 2009. So like, I never had to live through like 20-cent texts or whatever, and like, don't call me before 9 p.m. shit. Like, I never lived that life. So like even like I knew it existed because my parents said that, but like I never had to personally go through that. So that's wild to me that like that shit was even a thing.
Yeah,
That was my first phone.
I only went. Oh yeah, I only went through that like in late, but I went through it.
Like for the amount of texting I do with you guys and like everybody else, I'd be broke within like a week.
I can't even imagine it, man. Like my phone gives me a report every week about usage, and like one of the main hits is messaging because my partner messages so with such regularity and such ferocity and speed that it's just like she just messaged me a little bit ago. So it's just like it just happens that she would bankrupt me. I would be the whatever capital, Melvin capital.
Like 10 cents per text, like that meme better be fucking fire.
For sure. Plus, like I said, that was like pictures was even more data usage. Can't even imagine.
I think you guys should get some walkie-talkies.
Just hit it on the beep,
Yeah.
the Nextel, get the chirp popping.
Yeah.
Never tell you guys my first
God.
phone was forced upon me
No.
By whom?
by my mother. She got sick of not being able to get a hold of me.
That's about right.
I was
Like, bruh, I need you, and
I was 22, 23. I was going out and doing a lot of drinking. You know, coming back whenever I wanted to.
like, boy, you could have picked up some milk while you was out. Damn it.
You know, disappearing for days at a time. So
Really?
Oh no, that is not what the
I'm an
fuck
adult.
was, what?
I know I live in my parents' house at the time, but I'm an adult.
Bro, shit. I would have woke up and my you know what? I would have woke up. I would have finally came home and all my shit would have been gone. My mother would have said it was like it was on the front line, but this shit would have been stolen before I got home. Because I grew up in a bad neighborhood. No, I'm just kidding.
You guys didn't do that to your parents?
Yeah, because you.
No.
Well, you were out of your house probably early.
I left my mama's house 2 weeks after I graduated high school.
That's true. I stayed with my mother until about 22, and then I got my own place.
Yes.
I moved out, I think I was like 24? Wait, no, that ain't right. I moved out, I was 22. Maybe 23, somewhere around there. And but even before that, no one gave a shit where I was.
About 23, 22, 23. I don't know, maybe it's a suburban thing. My friends were like, "Oh, I got a license now. I don't have a curfew." They told their parents that. And I'm like, I didn't get to tell my parents that. Yeah, the look on
I was either 23 or 24. Because I've been at where I'm at now for 9 years in May, and then I worked at my previous job for like about a year before I was in the apartment before I lost my job. So yeah, I moved out of my mom's house like about 10 years ago. So I would have been like 24.
I was like the odd one out of my friends. My friends, they're like, I'm 16. I got a driver's license. I don't have a curfew. I had to like go to college and come back to not have a curfew. And even my parents were surprised about that. The first night I stayed out all night and came back like, yeah, I was serious about that. And they surprisingly accepted it.
Well, like I didn't have I hadn't finished college, so like I didn't know what I was doing. I was in a low-paying job. I didn't have like a savings of any kind. Like, you know, I didn't grow up like I grew up like, you know, white, but I didn't grow up like I had a hedge fund white or anything like that. So it's like going out on my own, man, like I had to make sure that like I had an understanding of how things worked and that like if something bad happened, like did I have anything like that I could use to get out of it or like maneuver? So like I had to make a calculated exit, you know.
Oh, same here. I had to like wait until I had like a steady job out of college.
I mean, I tell you, man, like getting fired after being on my own for like a year, then having to figure it out, that sucked. Because, like, the one thing that I always told myself was that I didn't want to have to go back. Like, I didn't want to have to be like, hey, I didn't make it on my own. I need to come back until I get back on my feet. Like, I never wanted to do that. And I was like a week away from having to do that.
Well, I still didn't, like, do anything like that, Gabe, because I started at the job I'm working at now when I had just turned 19, and I was like, I can't stay out all night because I have to go to work in the morning.
Well,
Yeah,
I was
coming up on
with my parents in my early 20s. I was still working like a retail job, so it wasn't 40 hours a week and the days I had off. Well, that and I was irresponsible, so I'm like, I'll just work hungover. I'll just work half asleep. So I stayed out all night because why not? And sometimes I would just crash at a friend's house for a couple of days because their parents weren't home or on their little vacation because they're suburban parents.
And back then, I was tired all the time. Because, like, I worked retail back then, too. And, like, I didn't have a set schedule. It was, like, one night I could close and the next morning I could open. And so it was, like, I didn't get into, like, a normal sleep schedule. Now, like, I kind of go to sleep in the same kind of area every night and get up around the same time. So, like, I have a pattern. Back then, it was, like, one night I could be up until 2 o'clock in the morning, and then the next night I have to go to bed at 10 o'clock. And it was like my body never got into a rhythm. And then it was like, back then I was like heavy into doing like, hobby shop gaming and staying up late and playing board games with my buddies and, nerd shit. So it was like I was just in a perpetual state of exhaustion for like 3 years while doing that job. And then it sucked because like I had to be a manager. So it was like I'd be tired and grumpy because I'm really a bad person. Like I'm not nice to be around when I'm exhausted. So to like have to pretend like I wasn't irritated by every single person I had to deal with on a daily basis. And I was getting like way underpaid to do it. Like that was a horrible time in my life. Thankfully it led to better, but like, holy shit, I'm surprised I got through that like as well as I did. And I even fucked it up in the end, Somehow I managed to squeeze 4 years out of that.
Yeah, what's funny is like, so all my friends were in college. And all my friends went to college like either at Wilberforce or Central State, which is hours away, or my other friend was in the Army. So I didn't really have anybody to really hang out with. Oh. So it was just like, let me just. It was funny. Like I remember, one of my friends that came home from college, and it was a girl I went to school with that he had met in college, and she was like, "So what are you up to?" She was like, "Just hanging out." I was like, "B, I work for a Fortune 500 company. Shut up." She was like, because I rolled down there like on a bike. I didn't like. He lived on my street. She was like, "What? Like you're just hanging out?" I'm like, what are you talking about? But I was like, I was gonna go to the same school as y'all, but I got a good job. And she was like, "Oh, okay." But now she's like that bitch like a diplomat. So I guess she got the last laugh on me.
No, she didn't. She's not on this podcast.
Yeah, no laugh. She's just like making. Close to $1 million a year. Like she's like a German diplomat.
All right, so let me pose this question to you, gentlemen. Like the you two with kids, and I'd like to get Dan's opinion as well. Your kids are 18, but they're still living at home. Curfew or no curfew?
Which it depends on which one it is.
It's situational. It's like so. Right now, I have a child who has a curfew. He's 17. He'll be 18 at the end of this year. This is coming sooner than later for me.
Damn, time flies. I guess I was in denial about it.
I remember singing "Lean Back" to that baby at a basketball court, but he was sitting on my lap while his dad broke his ankle.
Let's see. School night, be home by 9 o'clock. Currently, not a school night, be home by 10 o'clock. Just relatively easy because now he said he drives and so forth, so that's just what it is. When he's 18, he'll still be in school. Just is what it is. So he still will have to be his ass home. Maybe I'll spot him another hour, but like you still have the rest of the school year to get through. So in theory, you know what I'm saying. And so I got to kind of keep you on a schedule up until then. Now when he graduates, you know what I'm saying. Maybe I'll probably be a little loose and be like, all right, I need to know where you at, and I need to know what time you're gonna be home. But I don't know. I'm not there yet. But right now he has a curfew, and it's a standard. Today I didn't let him go kick it. He wanted to go kick it, and I'm like, dude, it's cold. It's kind of snowy. It's kind of whatever out there. That car is at this point barely making it. It drives fine, but we know its time is short. So I'm just like, yo, 9 o'clock, 10 o'clock. These are the moves you make, and it's just we abide by it. And
that's where like when I listen to T Talk. And then I compare it to what I went through. It's completely different than that. Like, I didn't really have to ask for permission, and I didn't have to be home by a certain time. I just like would be like, "Hey, I'm going here," and that was it. Like, there was no like, "Can I do this?" It was just like, "Hey, I'm going to the mall. I'll be back, when I'm done." And it was like even one night, like I went to like my buddy that we talked about earlier, how like he and I don't really talk anymore. I went over to his house to hang out. I actually fell asleep on his floor and didn't come home until the next day. And no one said a goddamn word. I just walked in the house, and they're just like, "Oh, we're going to church. Go get changed."
They said,
I don't know that. I don't even know. I never knew that life ever. It was always.
See, that was the thing. That shit didn't really happen. It was like a weird day where like my stepmom's mom decided that we all needed to go to church with her on that particular Sunday for whatever fucking reason. Oddly enough, it was the last time that I went to church. So, like, she tried to drag us to church off and on, a couple times, like, in the years prior to that, where it was like, there was like, maybe like a 6-month stretch where on like Saturday night, she'd drag us to some church that she had joined that was in like a funeral home on East 55th. And then, like, I swear to God, that was real. Like, that was oddly specific because that was what happened.
I heard the story before.
And then, like, another time where, like, they were dragging me to Sunday school mass at some church on, like, Broadview Road. That lasted a couple months, and then, I don't know, at some point, something would happen, and we'd stop going, and it was what it was. Because, like, I didn't give a shit. I just went because my parents told me to. So, like, this time, though, like, I was, like, I think a senior in high school. I might have, I was still in high school at that point. But, like, it was the weekend, it wasn't like I passed out on a school night and didn't come home. So, like, I showed up back home Sunday morning and I was like, oh, yeah, I fell asleep at John's. Because, like, I don't think that they really thought that I would, like, be lying because I didn't do anything.
Yeah.
Like, I wasn't, like, into crazy shit. Most of my friends were just nerds. So it was like, I told her, I was like, I was at John's, I fell asleep on the floor, and I woke up and it was the morning. I don't know. She's like, all right, just go get changed. Like, I didn't get in trouble. I didn't get reamed out. Like, nothing happened.
Yeah.
And that's just how it was. Like, I would, like, go, like, on Friday nights, I'd go to the mall, and at some point I'd come home, like, midnight, 1 a.m., 2 a.m. Like, if we went to somebody's house, I could not come home to 3 a.m. Like, just as long as I didn't come in the house causing a ruckus and waking everybody up and shit, like, no one gave a crap where I was. But also, I was the oldest, and they had other kids to worry about. Like, it was like, can't have eyes on everybody. Or at least they chose not to have eyes on everybody.
That's the story of why Dan had a beard at 13.
Yeah, I mean, bars offered me beer at that point.
Yeah,
I don't know. I only got the 2, so I don't know how to speak to any other direction. And I'm not so much of a helicopter parent anymore. But I am on that shit. You know what I'm saying? I don't know if I ever would be a little loosier goosier like your folks. I would have. Maybe, I mean, who knows? They probably noticed your absence, but like you said, they had trust in you. So I don't want to assume your folks are just like, I don't give a fuck. I don't know what that little motherfucker is.
Yeah, I figure like, 18, like, I would probably just be like, hey, let me know where you're going and call me if you need help.
Yeah. So.
But like, and if you do come home, don't be dragging a bunch of strangers up here while I'm sleeping.
Always.
And don't come into the house waking me up.
Yeah, my whole shit is always wear a mask when you're around motherfuckers right now, because that's where we are. It's like, don't be.
Well, I mean, like, I'm speaking obviously from a non-pandemic time, but
yeah, I'm just saying for right now, the only additional fucking rules is you're saying answer my text when I hit you up, because my son would tell you if he were here. Every time I hear like a bunch of sirens, I'm like, what the fuck is going on? And I hit him up immediately. Are you okay? I'm hearing sirens, and I worry. And he'll be like, yes, I'm okay.
I guess like I'm just looking at it from the perspective of like if once they're 18, like they would still be my like theoretically they'd still be my children if these people existed.
Correct.
But like I would look at it from the perspective of like treat you more like an adult, but still kind of like hold your hand a bit while you find your sea legs.
I truly just had this discussion with him the other day, and I go, the reality of it is yes, you'll be 18, but don't let it fool you. You're not an adult at that point in time. No one is an adult at that time, no matter what anybody says. You're just not. You're a teenager, and you have so much growth to do still as a person and so forth. Don't fall for that bullshit.
Can't even smoke Black and Miles no more at 18.
Dude, I didn't feel like an adult until like I hit into my 30s.
Man.
The 20s is just trying to figure out like how the world works and where you fit in it.
Mm-hmm.
Exactly.
So, but like what popped up the other day for him is I got a notification that he'll be taking the SAT here at the beginning of March, and I was like, and I literally had to sit him down and chop it up. I'm like, one, do you think you need to have some extra studying regarding this? And he actually was supposed to answer that question today and has not. So we need to check in with Xander about what was going on there. But also I was like, that means in earnest we need to start figuring out what we're gonna do for college. And I'm like, don't worry about majors and what you want to do in life and shit like that there. And I use an example of when I bought the car a couple of weeks back. The guy I bought the car from was like, oh, yeah, I went to school. I have a degree in mechanical engineering, but here he sits selling me a car. I go, that's the point. It's like you can get a degree in anything if you are so inclined, but you may not end up working that and so forth. So I'm like, don't freak yourself out. Don't think that you need to make some life decisions right now, but we need to actually start getting it in shape as to where are you going to go to school at? If you're going to go to school, you know what I'm saying, and so forth. What you think you want to major in, what you think you want to do, let's start considering that. So
yeah, it's funny. The guy that we've talked about multiple times now, he actually has a degree as an X-ray tech, but he works with us.
Yeah, it's like it's great, cool thing. You know what I'm saying? School is what it is, and I always respect it. And who knows? He might find his way, but I don't depend on it to guide his path. I didn't finish college. I got a few years of college under my belt, but I never finished out my degree, and. Who knows what that means to me, you know?
I think like when you're coming up as a kid, like TV shows, the media and whatnot, they make you feel like if you don't have like your life planned out by the time you're ready to leave high school and enter college, that you're some sort of fucking failure or something.
Yeah. And I tried to school him with that. Like I said, that's exactly why I kind of tried to rap him about it, because I'm like, one, I want to be a little more prepared than my mom was for me. You know what I'm saying? My mama truly just didn't have a plot. You know what I'm saying? I don't think she knew what I wanted to do in regards to education, because we never discussed it. So I tried to talk to them about it. Everything, and I know it seems there's no disrespect to my mother. It is simply something I've come to terms with as I've gotten older and had, again, we reflect on kids, is that I have done better in life than my mother. I'm certain she did better than her mother. You know what I'm saying? And I told Xander exactly this. I was like, I expect you to do better than me. I expect you to go further than I do. I didn't graduate college, so my hope is that you do graduate college and so forth. You know what I'm saying? But it's like, don't worry about it. It's like if you want to go work on cars, then cool beans. If you want to go do photography because you're super into photography, good. We'll find you the best photography school we can figure out. Hopefully in state. So, you know what I'm saying? Your man ain't paying some wild ass fees, but.
Yeah, combine the two. Take pictures of cars.
That's exactly why he has the equipment he has, because that's what he wants to do. He wants to be out, like when car shows are a thing, when it's warm again, he wants to be able to take pictures of stuff like that and have the drone to take, drone shots and stuff. That's exactly why he has all the stuff he has. So, I don't know. Okay, hold on. We're going to go back right quick. Yes, you should have been offended by that woman at Burger King. I am offended for you. Just in case that question was never answered. Should he have been offended, Gabriel?
I think
you were kind of asleep for that period of time, okay? Box, was it offensive or was it bothersome in some way?
I think it's offensive because he's black.
Fair enough.
So
she didn't think that black man would be eating vegetarian.
Okay.
It's fucked up.
And to answer your question, Gabe, I feel like, and I know I'm being biased here, but when it comes to Emery, he gonna have to have a curfew. When it comes to Anthony, I'll be able to talk to him and like, I'll be like, oh, you okay? I know what you doing.
Yeah. That's just there you go. Yeah.
I know you got it harder because you got 2 boys and 2 girls.
Mm-hmm.
So it's gonna be like, you know, girl. I mean, everybody try to put that statement on girls, but boys be fucking up, boy. And girls are so much smarter than guys. And I don't want to call it maturity because I don't think it's maturity. I just feel like most of the time, girls are smarter than boys.
They make better decisions.
Yeah.
I think they give off a feeling of calm more than boys do. Like, guys are like jittery, just unsure little like beings that like they never feel like they're in control. Like there's no sense of stability with a boy. So like you tend to worry more because it feels like anything can fucking happen. Whereas like a girl kind of feels like they've got it under control. It's kind of like they feel it's more. I feel like they're more like ducks. Where like above the water they look calm and shit, but underneath the legs are fucking flapping like crazy.
I kind of feel like, especially with my boys, I feel like they go off instinct. They're like, I'm going to do this. I don't care about the other shit. I feel like I want to jump from this ottoman to this couch right here. That's just what I want to do.
It's like you don't understand that distance.
Or that when you take off, the ottoman's going to move back some because we got hardwood floors.
Yeah. So the distance becomes slightly greater before your very eyes.
Yeah, and I feel like it's going to be tough for you, Gabe, because like your kids seem like their mood swings are very sharp. So like I feel like it's going to be hard to like kind of like rein that in.
They were quite dramatic yesterday when they thought their toys were getting thrown away.
Did you go with thrown away as opposed to put away?
We put them away.
I mean, why do you believe them to be thrown
because
away?
We were angry
though? I mean,
and told them we're going to throw them away.
Well, no. See, what I'm saying. I'm going to put these. Oh, I'm surprised you didn't correct them. You usually like kind of forward with them. You know what I'm saying? It
later,
matters.
and it turned out all right. They had a good day without so many toys.
I say at least twice a week that I'm throwing away all the toys. So I'm right there with you, Gabe. I tell them all the time, I'm throwing this shit away. All the time.
Back to themselves.
Yeah, it's so funny. Like Emery won't clean up at all. Like he'll be like, nope, and Anthony's like, okay, I'll clean up for both of us. And then Anthony will clean up, and I'm like, all right, Emery, please help clean up, and then he'll take all the toys back out. But I will.
It'll be wild.
Yeah, Emery. It's funny. Like he is. He definitely loves the video games now. Like it won't be long for toys. Like he was over there playing Street Fighter like for like an hour, and then I went upstairs, but he cried because he lost.
Oh man, you should hear my boys play Mario together. Mario Deluxe U and God, it just.
Kart. Oh no, you.
Yeah, the one.
Side scroller. Yeah.
Oh God, they're at each other's throats because they don't know how to play as a team.
Oh wow!
Like, you crushed me. It's your fault.
That's the shit. That's why that game is fun. Picking up your guy, throwing him, going in the bubble.
Yeah.
That's the shit.
Well, right now they fight over when they play Sonic 2. Like, no, I'm Tails. No, I'm Tails.
Is Tails invincible like he was in the Sega version?
Yeah, it is the Sega version. Like I got it's the I don't have one of those yet, but I got it's like a PlayStation game with a bunch of Sega games on it.
Oh.
You got Sonic Mania?
Me?
Yeah.
What's that on?
Everything. I will.
Tails can't be hurt.
Worry
He's the one to play with. And he can fly.
I like how like they made the character to be the little brother character. Where like, you know, the older kid was like running around with Sonic trying to defeat the level, and you're just like, here's Tails. Like, just go do something.
Yeah, Sonic Mania is only $14 at
Make sure you get Sonic Mania Plus.
Sonic Mania Plus. That is a Google away.
Tails came in clutch though when it was time to defeat Robotnik at the boss part, because like I would just go hide off in the corner with Sonic and dodge all the projectiles. I'd be like, all right, go get Robotnik since you can't die. I'll make sure that we get through this. Like,
see this.
Why is that?
Is this only on Switch?
No, I just sent you the PS4 link in the chat, but also that particular picture has the European rating on it for some reason. I'm like, why the fuck does that have the European rating on it? But whatever, I just sent you the link. It's in the chat. The voice actor for Sonic apparently was fired or just won't be doing the voice no more, and he had a real sad post about it on Twitter yesterday or today. I can't call it.
What, for the movie?
No, that's Ben Schwartz. He's fine. It's the guy who doesn't.
I know that's why I was like, no.
No, the cartoons and the games.
I put too many hot dogs in places I wasn't supposed to.
They've been doing a cartoon?
Yeah, Sonic Boom, I believe was the last cartoon.
Oh, not Jaleel White?
No, he ain't done it since the back in the day. My man Urkel. Oh man, you know how we get down, people. As we are pushing forward here.
And Slate.
Toward the old 2-hour mark. It's late in the game. Let me bust out some of these. Let's head for Reddit and bust out some of these amateur assholes. I had pulled a selection of these in preparation for this. Basically, like I said, the one time I was unprepared for this show, I felt awful about it. So I've been extra prepared these last 2 weeks. So
you might feel awful, but we feel like we finally contributed.
You contribute all the time. You know what I'm saying? My contribution is to have a show prepped. That's what I do. Then y'all just go off and it's great. You know what I'm saying?
I know, but like it felt like we were actually like doing something, like gathering source material, rather than you just being like, hey, so what's new in your world, even though you haven't left your house for the last 25 days?
You always have something in stock. So you always pull something out your hat, and I love it. So that's
but I didn't have anything this time. We just happened to gloss over it because we went down memory lane.
Freestyling. That's how it goes some days. Here's your selection of Emma the Assholes this week from the Mean Streets of Rabbit. Am I the asshole for getting mad at my girlfriend for lying about having a pet kangaroo?
That sounds made up.
Am I the asshole for telling my husband that he's not going on the yearly trip this year? Am I the asshole for blowing up on my husband over a prank? Mind you, that one has been removed by the moderator, so I'm saying that's one of them ones. You never know why, but still. Am I the asshole for telling my roommate that she can't clean her piercings with pasta water?
Okay.
Oh.
That one sounds
gross,
odd.
I would either go with 1 or 4.
Fair enough.
Like pasta water can't do everything.
Make them thick, girl. So let us begin with, am I the asshole for getting mad at my girlfriend for lying about having a pet kangaroo? Throwaway, my 28 female and my girl... Okay, sure thing. My 28 female and my girlfriend, 27 female, met my parents for the first time. We are staying a few days. I'm going to assume with me and my girlfriend. He just wrote my and my girlfriend. All right. My parents are excited. My girlfriend is Australian. So much they cooked meat pies for dinner. We got there fairly late and they had all this food prepared. I completely forgot to tell them my girlfriend is vegetarian, and I honestly didn't realize they had anything like this planned for our first night. They said it was a surprise and looked crestfallen, so my girlfriend intervened and said I was joking. Privately, I asked her what she was doing, and she said she didn't mind eating meat one night. It was a choice. It was a choice thing, and she had eaten it growing up. She's very easygoing and told me to chill. She was drinking, which she never does. Usually she's quiet, but she was getting chatty, especially with my dad. They encouraged each other. My parents are a bit obsessed with her being Australian. We get to the end of the night and she tells this detailed story about her pet kangaroo. She even had a photo with one. Later we went to bed and I asked her about it and she kind of laughed, but didn't elaborate. Just said, "Sorry, I was pissed," and passed out. Pissed meaning drunk, just in case you were wondering, people.
Not angry.
Correct. The next day I asked her about it and she said there was no kangaroo. At the time, she had thought it was funny to make my parents believe she had one. I asked her if she did it because she was pissed at me about dinner. In this case, actually pissed. But she said she meant pissed as in drunk, which I knew. And she would tell them today she was pulling their leg. The pic of her in a random kangaroo was of her in a random kangaroo she saw at the zoo. I told her my dad wouldn't get this and think she did it to make a fool of him. She shrugged and said, "Fine, I won't tell him. I can have a pet kangaroo." At the time, I thought likely the story would be forgotten, so I agreed to leave it. Through lunch that day, the Australian thing came up a lot. She started the lunch fairly reserved, but after a few drinks began telling them about her life in Australia. It was convincing to my parents, but I was pretty sure it was BS. Thinking about it, think things like a kookaburra. That shit is not what this woman wrote. We know kookaburra sits in the old gum tree. Merry king of the bushes, he. But that is not what this woman wrote. Desert, whip all, very stereotypical.
Wait, are we talking about a lesbian couple here?
Yeah, female. Both of them females.
Okay. The whole beginning being all jacked up the way it was written, I was confused, but okay, I'm back on the train.
Very good.
Go down under on each other?
We ended late and she went to sleep.
I thought the old boomerang.
The next day I asked her.
Shit smells like a Vegemite sandwich.
The next day I asked her, and yeah, it's all BS. She said she said she just drinks when she's stressed and finds it funny to go along with the Australian thing in the moment. She has always had an odd sense of humor, but I was mad. I told her she has to stop drinking. She says she won't. It's stressful to meet parents, especially as a lesbian couple, and I'm an asshole for not supporting her more. I told her we should tell my parents the truth, and she said no. They will think she's an idiot with a drinking problem. I told her she was in the heat of the moment. My parents love her. Somehow drunk, she managed to be charming as fuck. The next day, she slept off her hangover and avoided everyone. I said she wasn't feeling great. Since then, we seem to be at a weird stalemate. I'm furious and she's acting like this isn't a big deal. Actually being quite affectionate with me, chatting to my parents. Am I the asshole?
Okay, that was a misleading headline.
I mean, they did bring
Yeah,
up the
it did,
kangaroo.
but like, she's more of an asshole for saying like, you have to stop drinking.
Yeah.
You're saying she buried the lead.
Yes.
Okay, I hear you.
I feel like, she went above and beyond in the beginning, like breaking her no meat thing. Like, that was like the relationship equivalent of like 7 W's and all. So, like, I feel like at that point, that person like should have just been like, had their back and like even like maybe be like, oh yeah, we saw the kangaroo over Skype or something. Like, just kind of went with it. Like, it's not that big of a fucking deal. Like, clearly the parents like are overcompensating because they don't understand that like Australia is just a place like it's not that much different than here, So, like,
so I have met some people from like foreign lands, if you will, and it's always it always proved fun to me and interesting to me just to talk about. Okay, what was your experience like? I met one guy from Brazil. I met a guy, was a guy like who lived in I believe he's from Saudi Arabia. And it was always interesting to get their takes on their experience there and their experience traveling, in the States and so forth. I always like asking people from other countries about what their like lived experience is because I find it fascinating. I just do. So I kind of get it. But Australia has this kind of pop culture sensibility in America. You know what I'm saying? Because we're always thinking about, for on the real, Crocodile Dundee and shit like that.
A
there.
dingo ate your baby.
We make Australia this. We putting the pussy on a pedestal when it comes to Australia. and it's a motherfucking problem. Is what it comes down
Yeah,
to.
but you ask them about their foreign land. You don't go all in like, oh, you're from Brazil, so like, do you like wax? Do you like big butts? Like,
And I cannot lie.
carnival.
Are you really into cosmetic surgery?
Oh my gosh. Let's get some of the old comments here. I'm also Australian, and I agree with two people who posted replies above me. It doesn't sound harmful or unusual from my perspective. So as long as most Australians chime in here and say that it's not uncommon for them too, because different states can be as different as people say from Alabama versus California. So some may disagree with me here. Then it shouldn't be an issue. Just tell your parents that it's part of the culture, that we have a weird sense of humor and creativity, and it's not anything personal. It's just her being her, and part of the culture of a lot of people being friendly and joking around. I kind of find this story hilarious. It's not uncommon to tell some tall stories like this just to get a reaction of disbelief, but come clean as soon as you get the reaction you wanted. But in your case, she probably didn't come clean and finish the joke if it was a joke for her, because you may have made her feel nervous with your reaction to it, which is making it now making it into more of a lie and a bigger issue. So it went from like what could have been a ha ha. No, I didn't have a kangaroo, you sillies. You know what I'm saying? That's a picture from the zoo, like you guys would have taken at the zoo, because her girlfriend, full court pressed her on that shit. Like, how dare you lie to my parents? It's like,
Can I say, this girlfriend and her parents are dumb for falling for that. I do. What are you, stupid? Of course she didn't have a kangaroo as a pet.
one, I
Black
get
bear
it,
as a
but like I
pet
said,
because you live in America.
Well, I gotta be a black man
it-
because you talk proper.
it's just it's just like the lady was saying though. This is a lesbian relationship. I have no idea how your parents react to that. You're saying it's a lesbian relationship. She has no idea how has this lady been out for forever? Is this the first time she's brought a woman home to meet her parents? So forth and so on. It's a lot of going on there. I don't blame her for having a couple of drinks and just having a good time with this. What I'm saying, telling jokes from these parents who are just like, who are probably who could possibly be taken aback by first meeting their daughter's girlfriend for the first time, and also finding out that she's a foreigner for the first, what I'm saying, and all that comes with that. You know what I'm saying? It's just probably nerves more than idiocy. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I wouldn't have fallen for that shit.
When your children gonna bring home a foreign person, I'm gonna talk wild shit about you, son. Reddit called this person an asshole. I want you to know
I
that.
agree.
Gentlemen?
I would say they were exhibiting asshole behavior.
Agreed. So unnecessary. Which one you said? The fourth one, which was
Pasta water. I said that.
am I the asshole for telling my roommate that she can't clean her piercing with pasta water? And by just saying piercing, where do you immediately leap to?
I don't know. Nose,
right,
clit.
You are problematic.
Nipples in this case.
Okay. It is piercing.
I've been noticing a lot of pierced nips on Instagram
Yes,
lately.
it's
So
been a delight. This says piercing, singular. I'm going with clitoral hood. Watch, it's gonna be some dude and it's like cleaning his dick. He got a what is that called when you get your dick pierced?
Prince
I
Albert.
don't know.
Prince Albert.
Prince Albert. There we
Like
go.
the wrestler.
Trust me, I'm confused as heck to what went on. But me, 22 female, and my roommate Becca, 23 female, had a major argument. Becca got a piercing that got infected, irritated, and after going to the doctor was told to clean it with saline solution. I already made sense of this story. And well, all well and good, right? Saline is just salt and boiled water. Cool. But Becca wanted to save money after the doctor
This ain't real.
and not make up the saline water and waste water. So she's been using her leftover pasta water to clean her piercing because that's basically salt and water. As soon as I found this out, I told her that's disgusting and probably why her piercing is still infected. But instead, she called me out for judging her for being thrifty. And that's not for, and that not everyone's made of money. She's refusing to speak to me until I apologize and for implying she's poor. But I'm fed up of hearing about her sore nipple. Good call, gentlemen. If she's going to slather it with pasta water. I just want to know if I'm an asshole and overacting for refusing to apologize. Apologize is spelled with an S here, meaning this person is probably either Australian, British, or Canadian. I'm not a piercer, so maybe this is actually common practice and I'm dumb. Quick edit for info. The piercing was not done by a professional. Her friend did it for her a few weeks ago. I've given her pasta recipe in a comment below. And from the reactions, I'm thinking I'm morally obligated to tell you guys, please, just don't do this. It goes pasta, salt, and then water. It does not go that way. It is salt in the water, then pasta. And about the money for the doctor visit, she asked her grandma to cover it. I don't know much else about her financials apart from her paying rent and half the bills. Also, please don't give me awards for asking about my roommate's nipple. Please save your cash for something else like saline. That's just dumb. Let's see. First comment. This is the funniest not the asshole I've ever seen. Oh my God. I wish I could take a peek into Becca's mind to understand why she's using pasta water. Like, have you told her that as the pasta cooks, starch and stuff gets in the water, contaminating it? Would she be able to understand that? The OP responded, "Oh, I'll help you. Becca's pasta cooking process is add the pasta into the pot and then salt and then the tap water. That's just insane.
This ain't real, man. Nobody does that.
She then boils the mixture to create her pasta. She doesn't think heating up extra water is cost effective or heating up water separately and first because that increases the time that she is at the cooker. Again, cooker, apologize for this. We're getting more English here. NGL, Becca has done some weird things before to save money. Banning hair dryers was one I understood for saving money, but pissed me off. So it's not surprising. But we already have super cheap rent for our city, so I'm staying in the apartment for that. Now, I know you're already saying this shit fake. Now, what makes me think it's fake is all these mixtures of English spelling and statements, but saying shit like pissed off. But a British person wouldn't say pissed off. Or in response to being angry, they wouldn't even say they wouldn't be pissed off. Pissed is, like you said, taking a piss for jokes, but also pissed being drunk, which we just had in the other letter before this. So I too think this is fake, but just based on it's too many things get mixed up in this shit. Let's see if I can scroll down to see anything else. Where do you think sea salt comes from? Where do you think the word salary comes from? Salt used to be expensive. Alrighty. Reddit does not think this person is an asshole.
That's a nice aside.
Yeah. Oh well. If I can roll back up to it, it's because somebody had said something before that. But salt is a treasure trove. If that were true, merchants would have taken salt out of the ocean ages ago, and that's what that person was responding to. Where do you think sea salt comes from? Where do you think salary comes from? Salt used to be expensive. This is actually a quote from the anime Attack on Titan. Oh. Thank you. Someone got it. Okay, there we go. So that's that whole body of work was people on Reddit shit posting because that's just what they do. Oh my God. Yeah, that's
enough.
It's something. That certainly was something, wasn't it?
Pouring pasta water.
You know what? Here's the deal. You got a whole bunch of real technical shit up front. A whole lot of just fun reminiscing in the middle, and then some mediocre on the asses at the end. Although the Australian one was pretty fun. I like that. This pasta water one, very much a disappointment for what I was from what I was hoping I'd get out of it.
Wonderful joke out of that. Am I the asshole?
Oh my God, the internet was wilding about that blowing up over a prank. Somebody was writing. When I found that one, that actually wasn't even in the. Am the asshole. Somebody was mad talking about people who do pranks as sociopaths, and I'm like, I guess. Yeah.
Obviously never heard my pranks.
That was your show. I have no more show to give, people. I'm so sincere. As always, please rate, review, subscribe, and share the show wherever possible. Please give us a subscription over on YouTube and on our Twitch channels. And if you have a few bucks to toss our way, and you want to support the show financially, help keep the Zoom zooming and cords being replaced when microphones break and so forth and so on, then holler at us over on Patreon, where members at the $5 and above tier get extra content each month and early access to new shows. I basically invented a new show whole cloth yesterday, and I guess if we want to count it as yesterday, and that very show went up. I had planned to post that shit. I had planned to post the video of us trying the Oreos out on last week's show for our patrons as a thing, and then I thought about it. I was like, going forward, with having give the gentleman proper notice, if I'm going to hack a clip out of the show, I can hack a clip out of the show and give it to the patrons, the video version of the show. For right now, we'll be doing video versions of this show for the foreseeable future, so that works. And so Switch clips became a thing, and that is another show the patrons started getting just this very day. And if, like I said, you want to get down with that, please slide on over to patreon.com/StageCrunchy and Milk. Consider donating at the $5 and above tier, and we'd certainly appreciate it if you did. We also have merch available at tpublic.com/user/StageCrunchyMilk, all one word. Currently, by the time you hear this, it will be no more, but currently there's a sale going on TeePublic. You can really hook yourself up.
And
so we also have
not to mention,
you
about to say it? Okay.
Yeah. We also have a contest going right now that people who get out there and review the show and or just send feedback. Random winner will get one of these very shirts we're talking about, because we got you. It's gonna be great. So please consider giving us a 5-star review over on iTunes or on Stitcher. I don't believe anybody has touched our Stitcher in forever. But maybe you are a Stitcher listener, or maybe you want to get down with this contest, and it's easier for you to go write a Stitcher review than it is for you to write an iTunes
or just
review.
Emails.
Or Apple podcast review. Or, like I said, shoot us an email, give us a call on the voicemail, which is 216-302-8763. That's 216-302-8-POD. The email address for the show is podcast@stagecrunchyandmilk.com. You hear that as we begin the episode every week, but just in case you're new here, there you go. And like I said, you too, you could potentially win a shirt. So there you go. It's pretty great. That's Tatum 216.
Yes.
That's Lunchbox 2099.
That is factual.
That's the real ODP.
I'm sleepy.
Sir, you were snoring at one point. That recording is going to be fun to listen.
Sorry. Damn kids.
Sounds like you're the one that needed a curfew.
I am the Understatement 713. You've just been podcast 2, and I'm certain you loved it.
At least like the tip of it.
Peace.
Hey, what happened to you? You used to be beautiful.